Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing a story that's a tough one, a real gut punch. It's about trust, technology, and the devastating moment when the two collide. This story comes from a man named Mark, who thought he had a happy, stable life until a small, nagging suspicion led him down a rabbit hole he never imagined. Mark and Sarah had been married for 8 years. From the outside, they were the perfect couple. They had a nice home, 2 beautiful kids, and what seemed like a solid partnership. Mark worked in IT, a job that often kept him late, while Sarah was a marketing executive at a big firm downtown. Her job involved a lot of client meetings, networking events, and occasional late nights at the office. Mark never questioned it. He trusted her completely. Why wouldn't he? She was his best friend, the love of his life. The first crack in this perfect facade appeared on a Tuesday. Sarah called him around 7 p.m., her voice sounding a little rushed. "Hey, honey," she'd said. "Looks like another late one for me. We're trying to finalize the pitch for the new Henderson account. I'll probably be here until at least 10. Don't wait up for me." Mark just said, "Okay, love. Be safe," and hung up. He made dinner for the kids, helped them with their homework, and got them to bed. It was their routine, but something felt off. It wasn't anything specific, she said, just a strange feeling he couldn't shake. He decided to do something he'd never done before. Their family had a shared mobile plan, which included a Find My Family app for safety, mostly for keeping track of the kids. He'd never once used it to check on Sarah. It felt like a violation of privacy. But that night, driven by a gnawing unease, he opened the app. He tapped on Sarah's icon, expecting to see her location pin right over her downtown office building. Instead, the pin was blinking on the other side of town. It was hovering over a residential area, a neighborhood full of single-family homes, nowhere near her office. Mark's heart started pounding. Maybe the app was glitching. He refreshed it. Same location. He zoomed in. The pin was on a specific street, a street he didn't recognize. A cold dread began to creep up his spine. It had to be a mistake. A GPS error. That was the only logical explanation. He tried to push the thought away, telling himself he was being paranoid. The next day, things felt normal. Sarah was her usual self, talking about the stressful night at work and how they'd finally nailed the presentation. Mark watched her, searching for any sign of dishonesty, but she was a flawless actress. He felt a pang of guilt for even doubting her. He almost convinced himself that the GPS thing was a one-time fluke, but 2 weeks later, it happened again. Another late night. Another call. "Hey, bogged down with reports. I'll be late." This time, Mark didn't hesitate. He opened the app. His hands were trembling slightly. The pin wasn't at her office. It was at the exact same residential address as before. The same street, the same neighborhood. This was no glitch. The dread from 2 weeks ago came rushing back, 10 times stronger. His mind raced. Who lived there? What was she doing there? The questions were torturous. Mark knew he couldn't confront her without proof. A GPS dot on a map wasn't enough. She could easily come up with an excuse. Visiting a sick colleague, a client meeting at their home. He needed something more concrete, something undeniable. He felt sick to his stomach, like a spy in his own marriage. The man who once prided himself on trust was now planning a covert operation. He decided to wait for the next late night. It came the following Wednesday. The phone call was almost a script by now. The excuse was a last-minute team dinner. As soon as he hung up, he checked her location. Bingo. Same address. This time, Mark was ready. He'd already arranged for a babysitter, telling her it was a work emergency. He got in his car, his heart hammering against his ribs. The 20-minute drive felt like an eternity. Every red light was a new form of torture. He parked his car a block away from the address shown on the GPS. He got out and walked, his phone clutched in his hand like a lifeline, the glowing dot guiding him. He found the house. It was a nice, modern-looking home with a perfectly manicured lawn, and parked in the driveway, right behind a sleek black sedan, was Sarah's car. There was no denying it now. The sight of her car was like a physical blow. The air was knocked out of his lungs. He stood there in the shadows across the street, feeling a mixture of rage, betrayal, and profound sadness. All the happy memories, the promises, the shared dreams, they all felt like a lie. He watched the house, not knowing what to do. Should he storm in? Should he call her? Just as he was debating, the front door opened. A man and a woman stepped out onto the porch, laughing. The man was tall, well-dressed. The woman was Sarah, his Sarah. The man wrapped his arms around her and she leaned into him, her head resting on his shoulder. Then, he leaned down and kissed her. It wasn't a friendly peck on the cheek. It was a long, passionate kiss. Mark felt his world crumble. He couldn't breathe. He just turned around, walked numbly back to his car, and drove home. He didn't even remember the drive. The rest of the night was a blur. When Sarah came home around midnight, humming a happy tune, he was sitting in the dark in the living room. She jumped when she saw him. "Mark, you scared me. What are you doing sitting in the dark?" He didn't answer right away. He just looked at her. He could still see the image of her in another man's arms. Finally he spoke, his voice dangerously calm. "How was your team dinner, Sarah?" She launched into a story about the restaurant, the food, the annoying colleague who talked too much. She was so convincing, so detailed. Mark listened to the whole fabricated tale. When she was finished, he quietly slid his phone across the coffee table. The screen lit up with a photo he had taken of her car in that driveway. Sarah's face went white. The color drained from her cheeks as she stared at the photo. The silence in the room was deafening. "Mark, she stammered, but no words came out. There was nothing to say. The lie had been exposed. The perfect picture of their life was shattered into a million pieces. Mark's story doesn't have a simple ending. The discovery was just the beginning of a long, painful process of separation and rebuilding. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the technology we use for convenience and safety can end up revealing truths we aren't prepared for. It highlights the fragility of trust and the devastation that follows when it's broken. Thank you for letting me share this powerful story with you all. It's a heavy one, I know. If you have a story you'd like to share, you can always reach out. Remember to take care of yourselves and each other. If you found this story compelling, please give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We'll see you in the next one.